Atomic Habits. Tiny changes, remarkable results. Is it worth your time or is it just absolutely horrible? We'll find out. So it's written by an author named James Clear, who is essentially a bona fide expert on habits, making good habits, breaking bad habits. Alright, so this is the book right here. It's got a nice fancy cover to it. It is highly praised. The main points of the book is if you just get like 1% better every single day, developing good habits and doing the right thing, over time, it'll just be the normal thing and you'll be drastically better, drastically different place than where you were before. Alright, so he breaks down behavior change into 3 separate layers: your outcomes, your processes, and your identity. And he ties your habits to those 3 layers. So the reason why you can't break certain habits is because it's tied to a different layer than the one that you're essentially addressing by attempting to change a bad habit to a good habit or making a new habit. So basically he says that the primary reason why habits are so hard to break is that they're tied to our identity. But we don't address that. So like a smoker who's quitting smoking will say, hey, I'm trying to quit smoking, instead of just saying I'm not a smoker, because it's tied to their identity. And it just adds like a mental barrier to actually breaking a good habit, and it encourages you to continue doing the bad habit. So he says that every single time a habit occurs, it happens in 4 steps. You have a cue, a craving, a response, and a reward to every single habit. So next he says that there's 4 laws to developing good habits or creating good habits. You need to 1, make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, and make it satisfying. And then you can inverse those laws in order to break bad habits. So you can make it invisible, make it unattractive, make it difficult, make it unsatisfying. Now, personally, I don't normally read these kind of books. I tend to think self-help books are kind of more along the lines of a dry read. This is not the case with this one. So at the beginning of each chapter, he tells a story. And these are real-world stories that happen to real people. And he ties these stories into the different lessons he's teaching on each individual chapter. So pretty much every single thing that I just talked about is broken down in its own individual chapter just for itself. So Make It Obvious has its own chapter or whatnot. And overall, he doesn't get like overly scientific with any of it. He just keeps it straight to the point, nice, easy to understand. And overall, I found it kind of interesting. Kind of a good book, kind of a book that makes you think. Because if you're like me, or I'll put it another way, if you're like every single human being who has ever existed, ever, you have bad habits, you would like to develop good habits, but there's just some barrier that's keeping you from doing so. Overall, I found it to be an enlightening read. So anyways, I thought that would just be a nice, quick, easy review for a book. If you like it, hit like, hit subscribe, do something. Go about your day. Do whatever you want. Have a good day. I don't know. Toodles.